everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. And I am so excited for our guest here today, Valerie Arbeau. I actually was a guest on her podcast, the Special Needs Moms podcast. And I've been waiting for her to be here to talk about her book. Let me just make sure everybody can see it. The S.H.I.N.E Principle, the Special Needs Mom's Path to Strength, Hope, and Happiness. Welcome to the show, Valerie.
Well, thank you so much. I am really excited to be here. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad we're able to connect again.
I know. And you know what? I only have one other book that talks about special needs children. I'm actually hoping to get more
Mhm.
on the show because it is a topic that people don't often talk about, and there needs to be discussion about it. There are so many people that are struggling alone.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that this episode, your book, we can get the word out that us moms and even the special needs dads are not alone. There is help for you.
Yeah.
So before we get into the book, Valerie, why don't you tell us about outside of being a mom, what's your background?
Okay. Well, I'll just give you a little kind of history of us. So, my husband and I have been married for 32 years, which is hard to believe. And we have two children, both of whom have disabilities. One has a visible disability, and the other one has an invisible disability. So, for us, after 7 years of trying to get pregnant, our firstborn came into the world via an emergency C section after a prolapse cord. And Melody Ann is her name. And she was given a year to live. And praise God, she just recently celebrated her 23rd birthday. She's wheelchair bound, G-tube fed, and she's total care. And she also uses a communication device. And Melody Ann was early in her elementary schooling when her speech language pathologist asked us to consider an autism diagnosis for her. And I'm telling you, that explained so much. As a mom, we were kind of was kind of consumed with the CP, cerebral palsy diagnosis. So I wasn't even thinking that you could have a dual diagnosis. So our youngest came into the world via a planned C-section. And by the time this child got to grade 5, I was convinced something wasn't quite adding up. So this child was messy. She did not respond to being scheduled and was having some issues with social interactions. So we got an ADHD diagnosis at the end of grade 5, and surprise, surprise, and it actually was a surprise. August was diagnosed with autism.
Wow.
So I love meeting mums and working with mums and often dads of kids with disabilities because I love it's assisting them as they're navigating the challenges of raising their kids. Because as you know, it's no picnic. And I say that for any parent, but for the added stress, the added workload, the added challenges that we have when we have medically complex kids or kids with invisible disabilities, it just makes it that much harder. So, more
Wow.
specifically for me, I recently shifted my focus to helping parents plan a forever home for their child. So, that's kind of where my focus has been. I'm kind of niching down a little bit. And a little about me, my stress release, because we all have it. My stress release is being outdoors, love being outdoors. So, I'm so glad that spring is here. Having said that, I'm looking at snow right now. I love running and I love hiking, and I nurture myself with reading.
Snow, the white stuff?
Yes.
Okay, everyone. So, just for context purposes, all of our episodes are pre-recorded and streamed later. So it's April here in Chicago. It is very, very, very windy, but it's 51 degrees. And I have predicted that we're going to see another snow before we cut over to the warm weather. And you're in Canada, right?
Yes.
See? Hmm. We don't want it. We
No,
don't want
okay.
it.
Okay. I hear you. Neither do I.
It's pretty, but it's not fun to me.
No, and when you get to my stage of life, having to shovel it off the driveway and the sidewalk, Yeah, I'm so done. I am
Valerie,
so done.
shh. I don't shovel. I I do not touch the snow. Let's not make that a thing. So, Valerie, I love everything that you're doing. The concept of the forever home. And I might have mentioned this to you on your podcast, but probably about 10 years ago, my husband and I and my aunt, we were like, we're going to see if we can open up us a community integrated living arrangement. And we just ultimately decided we only really care, not that we don't care about other
Mhm,
adults with special needs. We were like, we didn't want to be responsible for others, and we just decided, let's just, figure out how to navigate Jasmine. So I really applaud you for taking that next step with helping others with that forever home concept, because it is something that is not an easy journey, and you need someone who has experienced it to help guide you mentally and physically,
mhm.
because it's a lot.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. And I so wish that we had somebody to help guide us through the process. Because as we were going through the process, which I mentioned in my book, we were in crisis mode. Like I'm talking crisis mode, trying to navigate what it was going to look like for Melody Ann's future care, what it was going to look like for the rest of us, and how we were going to make it happen. It was a lot. So it would have been so nice to have somebody walk through it with us.
Well, you're the chosen ones. So let's talk a little bit about the book, and we don't want to tell them everything that's in the book, because we want them to get their own book. But talk to us about the beginning of you making a decision that you were going to put this in black and white, because I'm sure you cut down some
Mhm.
parts of this book to make it digestible. But what was that moment when you decided this experience needed to be turned into a book?
Well, it was a long time in the making, I have to say, Dr. Campbell. My husband, for many years, has been saying, you need to write a book. And a lot of my friends over the years and friends in the special needs community were saying, you need to kind of share your story. And part of it was I was a resource. A lot of people would come to me and ask me questions. I'm also a volunteer through the Children's Hospital here in the city that I live in. And so people were kind of coming to me and asking questions, wanting to share my experience, what I thought about this, that, and the other. And I thought, I need to get it down because I want to have, but not that I don't want to talk to people, don't get me wrong, but I can reach more people with the message, with the hope, with the inspiration, and with the strength that they need to get through this journey. And also, like you said earlier, you're not alone. So just letting people know that there are people that are willing to help and want to help. So getting the book down on paper was a journey. I have to say, I went to launch it 3 times. I feel like I was attacked.
By whom? By whom?
And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but praise God, we were able to get it out. And I enjoyed the process. It was hard, and the getting the sort of, kickbacks with trying to get it launched and get it out there was tough, but that kind of just gave me more resolve. You know what? I'm going to do this because someone doesn't want this information out there, but I'm going to do it, praise God, and by his strength. And here we are.
I love it. I actually have been thinking about. I'm working on another book, but I've been thinking about a book of poetry.
Mm,
And so I am right now just writing notes down in my phone, just to get the thoughts out of my head. Because one of the things that I have found is, and we don't always think about this when we're going through things, but if you're going through something, I challenge everybody to write it down, because number one, you need to get it out of your mind, but you never know when you can turn your experience into a book, a movie.
mhm,
And I firmly believe that God never puts more on us than we can bear.
Yeah.
And so you, Valerie, your hubby, you're the vehicle to get this information out to others, because there are some people who won't necessarily ask for help, won't go to a support group, but they'll read a book. And
Hmm.
through reading the book, they'll realize that they're not alone. There's help out there. I just need to be vulnerable to get that help. And I think that's the scary part, because I remember getting Jasmine's diagnoses. And
Hmm.
I was, so she was born in 92. So we started really getting the diagnoses around 94,
Yeah.
95. And I remember feeling so alone, because I did not know anyone else that was a
Mm.
parent of a special needs child.
Yeah.
And I think people who are not, they have this perception of the journey, and they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
different. And it's
Yes.
different by design.
Yeah. Yes.
So I was reading recently, not reading, watching the news that, and I have to confirm with my husband. It was either the Centers for Disease Control said 1 in 8 or 1 in 38 children are now being born with autism. Did you hear that statistic?
No. No, I didn't actually.
Yes. So what does that tell you about your book and this? I'm just gonna tell you, Miss Valerie, even though I'm younger than you by 10 years, this book, your podcast, is more than those two things. It's actually a movement.
Mm.
And it's a movement that's needed by people who don't even realize they need the movement. Even people whose children aren't even here yet, they need these resources from
Hmm.
someone who can say, it's okay. I went through it. We went through it. You can get through it too. And let's talk about how we can get there.
Yeah. And we're here to help you get through it.
Yes. So the book was published in 2023. So I have to ask, when did you start writing it?
Ooh, let's go back. I'm going to say, I'm going to say probably during the COVID years. So we had launched Melody Ann into her forever home. And so that would have been, that's 7 years ago now, which is hard to believe. So that kind of freed me up with a little bit more time to be able to pursue writing the book. And as we were going through COVID and just recognizing people need a voice, people need to hear, people, as you say, people need to know there's help out there. So that kind of, I think, helped me catapult into let's just get this done. It took me some time and it was an ongoing process. I did some, put it down for a while. You know what? Now that I think about it, I probably did start before COVID because I think I did a bunch and then just left it. I think probably as we were getting started with Melody Ann's Forever Home, everything kind of went on hold because that was a big, I got to say, that was a God thing. That was bigger than me. I had to leave, I had to let go, which is not easy for me, but I had to let go and let God do that. So once Eden House is what we call it, that's Melody Ann's middle name. Once Eden House was set up and running, then I was able to get back to it. And then I think the impetus, like the feeling like I needed to get it out. I needed to get this done. I'm very much a task oriented person. So if I start something, I want to finish it. And this was just playing on my mind. So it's like, now's the time. Let's get this done.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the book. I have to put my readers on. And the first thing that caught my eye, and I have a question to ask you once we start recording, but I don't want everybody in our business. So, because people, they hear stuff and they run with it. So we'll talk about this afterwards. But talk a little bit more about, in the book you mentioned, and it's on the cover as well, shine. Talk to us a little bit about the shine principle.
Okay. So as people, and I'm a Jesus girl, I believe that God's love shines through us. And I just want what we have inside of us to shine through to the world. We each have a purpose, we each have a mission that God has designed us for. And so I just want people, moms, dads, and this was particularly for moms, to allow that inner self, that light to shine through. So shine for me, I came up with the acronym because most of us as moms don't necessarily do the best we can to take care of ourselves. So I wanted to have something that we could kind of relate to. So shine for me stands for S, say yes to self. How many of us take the time to say yes for self? And especially as a mom, and add on the special needs part. We are running, and I was definitely one of those moms. Just go, go, go. Energize the bunny is what they used to call me, because I'd get up in the morning and I'd be going till I fell in bed at night. So say yes to self. That means give yourself permission to let it be about you. And when I say that, a story comes to mind. I have three sisters. I'm the oldest of five. There's an 8-year gap, and then my brother. So the third girl is my, probably, I shouldn't really say this, probably my favorite sister, but I love them all. But she and I were on a telephone call because my family live in England. So we were on the phone, and she said, Val, when is it going to be about us? And I said, our eulogy.
That is
That
not good.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm just going to say to our audience here today, don't wait for your eulogy. You can say yes to you right now and let it be about you. So that's the first thing, is just giving ourselves permission for it to be about us. We feel sometimes that, I need to be putting my all into my child, and that's okay, but you need to be putting something into you. And then H, from, you can tell I'm from England. H is higher.
I
Having a
love it.
relationship. Having a relationship with a higher power, because we weren't built to do this on our own. So connecting with that higher power, whatever that might be for you, but for me, it's God. And so connecting with God, and I've had to say, okay, God, I'm going to move over. I'm going to get out of the driving seat because that's where I'm comfortable, but I'm going to get out because I need you to help me with this. And so just being able to establish that relationship and nurture that relationship and just allow God to take it, because it's heavy, right? Parenting is heavy. Parenting a child with special needs, especially if they're medically complex, is heavy. So being able to take that and have that lifted has just allowed me to be able to live life. And I want that so much for the other moms and dads that are out there. I is an inspiration. We all, as parents, want to role model for our children so we can help create and what's the word, model for our children so that they can be the best that they can be in life. So being an inspiration means we got to take care of ourselves. We got to watch what we're doing, because our kids, they're not necessarily listening to what we're saying, but they're watching. So everything we do, we need to be modeling so that we can be that inspiration, not only to others, but to our children, so that they can be the best that they can be as they grow. And N is for nutrition. We are what we eat and what we drink. I can't say it any other way. It's so true. And did you know, I wasn't aware of this till not too long ago, that what you eat and drink has an effect on your body for up to 72 hours. It will affect your brain so that you are not necessarily able to think as clearly as you might think you're thinking.
Wow, 72
72
hours.
hours. Yeah, 72 hours. So we need to be careful what we're putting into our bodies. And then E is for exercise. So exercise for me, as I mentioned earlier, is my stress release. And our bodies were made for movement, right? We're made to move. Movement is medicine.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love that. And I tell people all the time that growing up, we weren't taught about exercise.
Mm,
We just were not. I saw that my aunts and uncles were very active.
mhm.
But it didn't hit me until much later in life that it was something that you needed to do for your survival. Now, let me just see. My grandfather is currently 104. So I need to find out what type of exercising granddaddy was doing. But something I know, granddaddy always ate home cooked meals. So I wonder if that has something to do with his longevity besides granddaddy is a Jesus guy. He has been a member of his church for like 60 years. So he's definitely on to something.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the shine principle. And I could tell you were a Jesus girl because you have scripture infused throughout the book. Um I really believe, and I know you believe this as well. I believe that God gave Jasmine to me because he knew that I could take care of her. Even when I didn't know that I was built for this, right? Because initially, let's just be honest, you are just trying to get past the what has happened that you weren't expecting to happen. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, why me? Everybody else around me, they kids walking around doing all the things. Why me in
Yeah.
this situation? And I had to flip that to say, why not me?
Mm.
I'm the chosen one. Now, Valerie, you mentioned you were from England. You're currently in Canada, right?
Yes, that's right.
So I'm just wondering, and you may or may not know this answer. In terms of autism, is autism prevalent in London or Canada, or is it more, like a US thing? And you may not know this answer.
I don't know the answer, but I'm going to take an educated guess from what little information that I do know. I believe it's becoming more prevalent, or it's more recognized or diagnosed. I'm saying around the world. It's big in England. It is big in England. It's big in Canada.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
So Jasmine has been in this autism study. Dr. Catherine Lord
Mhm.
from California, I believe maybe she's in New York, but we've been in this longitudinal study for at least 25 years.
Wow.
And I love the work that she's doing with tracking the data, throughout the lifetime. But I wonder, now I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if it is in the food, in the environment. There has to be a why.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm not a scientist, so I don't know why. Um, I was a young woman having a baby, and
Mhm.
I literally gave birth to Jasmine 30 days before my 19th birthday.
Wow.
And I had prenatal care probably like a week or two after I got pregnant because my mom was like, "You're pregnant." I was like, "Whoa, what a minute." So she knew, and I immediately started prenatal care. And
Mhm.
so, for years I've wondered, did I eat something? Was it genetic? All of those things go through your mind as you're trying to figure out the diagnoses and navigate the journey. And for me, I initially was alone trying to navigate the journey. I wasn't married. And so there definitely were some scary days and nights.
I can appreciate that. And I have a very supportive husband who is very hands-on. I'm so glad that I'm in this era. My dad, when my mother gave birth to 5 kids, wasn't as hands-on. So I'm so glad that my husband was. He even learned how to braid hair, bless him.
Oh my goodness. As the young people say, I need the receipts. my, my husband, we laugh about this because my bonus daughter talks about my husband and this one hairstyle that he can do. And she said to this day, she hates that hairstyle because of him. But I'm like, at least he took the time to do your hair. And coincidentally, my father knew how to do that one hairstyle too. So it must be in the dad's handbook.
I guess so. So I can only appreciate how hard it must have been for you, because it was not a walk in the park for Scott and I had hands-on support. So kudos to all you single parents out there. I just want to lift you up and just say, carry on. You're doing amazing.
Absolutely. So we're almost out of time. This is
Oh,
amazing how fast this goes. But I want to talk a little bit about um, Forever Home.
Mm.
and what that is, because a lot of people are probably in that stage where you got to make some decisions. So talk
Mhm.
just a little bit. We want them to call you for more. We want them to buy the book for more. But talk a little bit about a forever home.
So for me, a forever home is, where is a place that my child can age in place, where they can stay for the rest of their life. I don't know about you, but when I first had Melody Ann, she was going to live with us forever. Like, I just didn't even conceive that she could live independent of us. She, as I mentioned earlier, is total care. So thinking about a forever home for her was a process, and you'll have to read the book to get the process. what we went through. Um, but for me, a forever home is where everything is set up for the child to thrive, for the child to have whatever level of independence they have. So because my child is total care, she needs somebody there 24/7. But she doesn't have to have her parents there. She can have someone who is, quote unquote, kind of a friend. I mean, they're a caregiver, they're a worker, but I think Melody Ann considers them friends. And it's just so lovely for me as a parent to be able to go visit and just be mom. I don't have to think about the feed. I don't have to think about, is it time for medication? Do I need to change her? Does she need to change position? I don't have to think about any of those. I can just go over, be her mom, and sing with her. She loves me to sing with her. And so for a forever home is a place where your child can be comfortable, what they can call their home, where they have their needs met, whatever their needs may be, and where they can thrive, be as independent as they possibly can, and just enjoy their life being the best that they can.
Oh, I love that. That really, I think, took some of this, not some, a lot of the stress off of you. It probably was stressful creating the forever home, but now that it's done, you can actually enjoy her because
Yes,
you're not doing all of that heavy lifting.
exactly, exactly. And the other thing that I do not miss is the HR piece. Doing the payroll, doing the taxes, all of that kind of stuff. I don't even have to think about if staff call in sick. That's not my issue anymore. They have to, because we have an agency that provides 24-hour care for the ladies. Melody Ann lives with two of the young ladies, and so we have staff that are there around the clock. So one, I think we have an awake staff at night and one staff that sleeps part of the night.
Mm. So one of the things you talked about, and I just literally had a flashback about that aging out process,
Hmm.
because when Jasmine was aging out, I think she was like 21 and a half. That process of looking for adult placement, it nearly probably just took me out of here because it was so stressful. Um, I remember just coming home after visiting places, crying, but I'm grateful that by this time I had a husband,
Hmm.
my aunt Phyllis, my mom. We literally just went from place to place. And every place we went to, I was just like, nope, this not for Jasmine. Nope, this not for Jasmine. And it was just so many reasons why. But
Hmm.
I'm so thankful that when we got to the place, that I was like, this is for Jasmine.
Yeah.
I was so thankful, and I still haven't abandoned the idea of her forever home. I just
Hmm.
gotta win the lottery first, and then so that's like our running joke around here. If we win the lottery, we're gonna call our accountant, call the lawyer, then we're gonna go and get Jasmine, right? We got a whole little plan we're gonna do, but first we gotta win the lottery.
Okay.
So,
And you can call me after you've done that. I just want to
yes.
say too, because I think that is a stumbling block for a lot of people, and that was for us as well. And I mentioned that in the book too, that, we just tapped out of it because we thought we couldn't afford it. But God, in his wisdom, was able to work it out for us. And we were able, even though we hadn't got the money saved so that Scott and I and our youngest could move out and buy another home, we weren't actually supposed to be able to qualify for another home, but God opened up the door for us. So I'm just here to say that there are ways that you can kind of work around to try to make it happen.
I love it. I love it. So we have not lost hope.
Good.
But I do believe in God's own time. He does
Yeah.
all things well. And
Yes.
so I think the first step though is writing the vision about what you want it to look like. And that was the other thing. As we were going to visit places, we had a clear vision of what it was not going to look like, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't given up on that because we know at some point we will leave this earth,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure that she continues to be cared for,
Yes.
like we would do, not only the physical care but the love. One thing I can say for sure is that the ladies that work with Jasmine at her placement, I know they love her, right? They love her like she's their own. And
Yes.
so that helps me sleep at night.
Yes. That's so important. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's so important because to have that trust in the people that are caring, because it's not easy to hand over your child. Oh my goodness. And Melody Ann was 16 and I was going through like ripping my heart up because, wow, I'm
My
abandoning
baby.
a child, right? I'm abandoning her because, yeah. Anyway, so I get it. I totally get it. It's not an easy step. And that's why, with the Forever Home, that's part of what I do is just kind of help walk parents through that. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Well, listen, before we go, Valerie, I would love for you to tell everyone all the places they could find you, definitely where they can get a copy of your book. I love, first of all, let me just tell you, you are officially in the Lisa Campbell Library.
Oh,
My husband's like, you are so extra. Who has a stamp? Uh, but I do stamp all my books. Sometimes I will, certain friends lend out my books, right? But I got it on my radar that I got to get it back.
yes.
But you are officially in my forever library that I'm hoping that when I'm no longer here, I should put that in my will. Who gets my library?
Hmm.
Just because there's some really great books about life in here that I
Hmm.
believe are timeless.
Yes.
So where can they find you and where can they get a copy of the book?
Okay, you can go to my website, coachingwithvalerieann.com, and you should be able to pick it up from there. You can also look for it on Amazon and get a copy from there. And I didn't realize until I actually put my book on Amazon that there was, because I'm not a big shopper, Amazon Canada, Amazon, like whatever country. So I was learning a whole lot of stuff as I was writing this book.
I didn't even know about an Amazon Canada, Amazon America. So you just taught me something new.
Yes, and Amazon UK because that's where my family is. So yeah, so when we were launching the book, it was kind of coming in with all of this. It was like, oh, okay, so yes, learning something new all the time, all the time. So yes, check out my website, and you can also find me on social media under my name, Valerie Arbeau, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
I love it. And I just caught Valerie Ann, Melody Ann. So I,
Yes.
I like the ands, keeping the name going. I love it. I love it.
Oh, and thank you for mentioning that because it's Anne with an E.
Oh, that's a good call out because I would
Yeah.
have thought ANN.
Anne with an
Yes.
E.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So before you leave, can you give that special needs mom that's out there that's going to hear this episode, can you give them some words of encouragement?
Absolutely. I just want to say you're doing great. Keep it up and don't give up. To all of you that are listening, no matter what stage of life you're in, you're a whole person with dreams, purpose, and light that deserves to shine. Life can be heavy. It can feel real heavy sometimes. But even in the hardest seasons, you can choose to say yes to yourself. You can lean into faith that lifts you up and take small steps to care for your body and your spirit. And that's what the shine principle is all about. It's not about adding any more to your plate. We all know we got enough. It's about reclaiming your spark. Because when you shine, your whole family feels it, and the world needs your light.
I love it. Well, listen, Valerie, I want to thank you so much for joining us on 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. I'm so glad that we finally got you on the show, especially because you're one of two of our, let's see, I don't know, 70 or 80 episodes of the books that focus on special needs moms. And I was actually doing a Google search just to see how many books are out there. I didn't feel like there was enough
Mhm.
considering all the other books that are out there in the world. So I'm hoping that you are encouraging others to write their books as
Yeah.
well, because we all have a journey.
Yes.
And I think it's something that needs to be told, because that's how we can help each other.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure meeting up with you again. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. So, everyone else, this has been another episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. We'll see you next week.